Get more value for your money when you activate your Digicel Prime bundle. More choices for what you want at low prices. More talk time on the most reliable network. More any-use data for whatever you're into searching and sharing. And dedicated data for more new apps to stream your music, shows, and live sports. Activate a Digicel Prime bundle of your choice in the My Digicel app today and save more. Digicel, better connected.
Get ready for an unforgettable experience at the Royal St. Kitts Hotel. Join us for Pink Suntopia, a food and good vibes affair on Saturday, 24th June from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Splash Bar. Dress code is Shades of Pink. General admission is $20 and buffet inclusive is $65. You don't want to miss out on the amazing music from DJ Levi Chen, DJ Collision, DJ Hollywood HP, DJ Terror, Sister Sensia, and EK The Real Ride. Tickets are available at No Rush Bar Portzante and Royal St. Kitts Hotel. Come and enjoy the vibes with us.
Nice to be in orbit.
Welcome to SipNchat, right at the Sugar Factory with your host, me, Azem. And of course, I'm joined by the lovely Jade, the CPL Matters, singing Beyonce Johnson. And we're looking forward to have a great time with you guys, the Sippers. Big up the Kingsters in the King Club this morning. And yeah, looking forward to a pretty amazing show today because it's Hump Day. Yes, it is Hump Day.
It doesn't feel like Hump Day because we had a holiday, so it really like throwing it off.
Are you glad it's Hump Day though? Because I mean the weekend coming again soon.
Very much so.
I mean the weekend coming again soon, so I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
As it should be.
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy week for me. I have a lot of stuff to catch up on.
As in, you're always busy.
Yeah. I feel like I don't make enough money for all the work.
Neither me. Neither do I, boy, but we have to because you know what? We have bills and adulting to do. So, it's either we work harder or I don't even know. Because then like, they could raise minimum wage for us.
No, we need to raise it for ourselves.
Yes, but then you see the problem with that is when we do that, because nobody else have no money, in our work friend, the money there.
No, I'm actually at this point really putting a lot of thought and energy into other sources of income. Like I need like another two or three streams.
Mm-hmm. And I need them to be streamed that I don't have to do anything for.
Okay.
Like, and because I've done doing enough, I don't have.
No, but that's the whole point. Hold on there. Kingsters.
Hold on, we're on the phone.
No,
You just realizing that?
The speaker on? Yeah. Oh, lock up the speaker then.
Find your ears, I'm getting late, you know, like I hear the speaker.
No, I heard it all the time. I just realized I couldn't deal with it. Oh, you know what it is?
What?
Probably the TV. No, I can't be the TV.
That's a good TV, why?
No, but we're hearing it from for real. Let's see.
Unless it's coming through.
It might be the TV. Yep, it's the TV. All right. But yeah, somebody was in here watching some movie last night. It was you, Jade?
Not me.
I don't have a key, so...
I don't have my key, though.
What the Kingsters were doing in here? What the Kingsters were doing in here last night?
I don't have key nor trans, so it's not me. And you see where you met me last night, home in my place. Just saying.
Yeah, I went to do a quick check on Jade to make sure she wasn't behaving badly.
No, I don't do them things, friend.
I mean, it was early, so.
I can't do them things. My knees don't work, my ankles them just swell, like. I just want a husband who just want more than me rubbing his feet at night. I could do that. I could sit down and do that. Cook a little in the day.
Jade, I am telling you now.
What?
If what you said is true, I suspect you're going to be flooded with proposals.
I mean, no, you have to have other qualities, not just want me to rub your feet, and that's all.
I mean, I would hope that the fact that you're even willing to say that
Yeah, man.
signals
No.
that some of the other qualities, no?
Remember, we didn't think it's when we got to.
I go be single forever.
Yeah, bye.
Remember that song?
Yeah, bye.
Remember that song?
That, you know what has really touched me so the other one. Oh Lord, he's talking about I bite again. Is that one? You gonna come to me? Is a serious soca song? You must hear it in a breakfast. A breakfast feed. A breakfast fit. Sorry.
You know the one that hot a lot of man now?
What?
This
Dexter?
one. No, but no soca.
Oh.
The one about some boy gonna lose their girl tonight. Bye.
That one. I playing with them songs. Some of
Somebody
them songs
gonna
I
cheat for
was
you.
bye. Some of them songs. Let me don't say that. I don't have no money. May not say that.
Boy.
But friend, we're going on with all these accidents. We can't drive anymore.
Jade, we've been on this accident train for the last few weeks.
I saw a really bad one this morning, and then I saw the one that we passed.
I heard you talking about it. I haven't seen anything, but
Yeah.
then yes, while you were literally still looking at that one,
I don't know what was in front of
we
us.
ran into another one, had to stop up in traffic, and it was just like, wow, it's that kind of day.
Yeah.
It's
That kind of day. Y'all have to be a little more vigilant.
I'm gonna be honest.
Probably because everybody late.
But I'm gonna be honest, Jade. I just unfortunately say a little extra prayer on with Monday, because there's a tendency for there to be accidents.
And wait, Monday?
And with Monday.
Oh.
And on holidays in general.
Yes, on holidays in general.
Yeah, but I think with Monday generally does have some little extra ones, right? With Monday, August Monday. Them 2 days. And I was actually pleasantly surprised that I didn't hear about many accidents, and I didn't hear about any serious accidents. I know there were a couple collisions on with Monday, but I didn't hear about any serious accidents.
Yeah.
So I was like, thank
We're going good. I mean,
And then fast forward yesterday, I see about 3 today. I said, did morning, watch it, even 8 o'clock yet? We done run into 2 of them.
at least nobody died.
Well, that is
Small
that's the-
mercies,
that's
friend.
that's the silver lining right there.
At least nobody perished, lost their life. We don't have to say RIP to nobody today. Small mercies.
Yeah, but let me tell you something, guys. Like, let us be honest. It's 2 things that jamming us. 2 things that jamming us, right? 1, speed, and 2, not paying attention, generally because I and I cell phone. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest, because
You okay?
I was checking this is the AC on.
Oh, you're hot now?
Yeah. And yeah, we got to check the AC back.
This is lovely for me. I don't know.
Really? Yeah, you might be a cockroach. Yeah.
Listen, don't do that.
Hey,
I am
wow.
not a fan of cold. Everybody who knows me know this.
I know this as well, but I mean,
It's not that bad in here.
Jade, you're sweating.
No, I'm not. I'm just
Jade,
shining.
I'm looking at it.
But I just always shiny.
I just always shiny. Wow.
No, it's true. Ain't a sweating thing, man. My forehead is dry. I'm just a shiny person, Azem. That's my aura.
Okay.
It shines through brightly through my forehead.
I see your true color shining.
I'm still over here racking my brain about this song, eh?
Which one?
This song that I said I really like, but that's all my life.
Is real.
It'll touch my soul when I hear it.
Real toxic.
It ain't toxic. Is it toxic?
Is
Nah.
this true? Just relatable?
Yeah, it ain't toxic.
It'll come to you, man. It'll come to you. I hope it ain't got nothing to do with biting, you know.
It probably does.
Oh, boy.
Well,
Oh,
sir,
boy.
not that me does get bite. Because, man, it's hot girls, but you know. Anyway,
Oh boy.
so I have an update for you.
What's happening?
It's not a good one.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And I said earlier that nobody died, but I meant today. Yeah. So, remember that case we were covering about the young lady that...
Oh, Diana again?
Yes.
There's more? They ain't just lost her in the jail yet?
No, well, I mean, she got an additional murder charge.
Oh no.
Yeah, that means somebody else died.
Oh no, you gotta be kidding me.
Nope. So now she probably will have 20 counts
no.
of first-degree murder.
This is like a week after now?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh. Yo, this one, me gonna tell you, yeah? It's been a while since...
Man, she killed 20 people. My mother is
It's
your
been a
mind.
while since one of the stories them that we did, like, just make me feel so mystic by.
Yo.
Because it's children
She,
all they were doing is
to learn.
sleeping to go to school. That's all they were doing, just sleeping to go to school.
And then you had far to go.
It wasn't
Like, come on.
accident. Like,
Come on, man.
It wasn't poor wiring.
No.
And all them things would have made it just as tragic. But then when you stop and you think up to yourself that this was allegedly over a young lady being upset because they took away her phone.
So she killed 20 people. She's a serial killer, technically. So, yeah. Just now they're going to do a YouTube video covering the case. You know it's serious when you see a YouTuber start to cover. You know what news say? This young... Bye.
This is such a tragedy. Hey.
I can't imagine bye.
Let me tell you all something now, right? And please, somebody clip this and send it to the relevant authorities. Right?
Me like when you say them things.
Clip this, send it to the relevant authorities, right? We, Jade and myself.
Wow. I'm implicated.
Yeah, you're in it today.
Okay. Let me hear how this goes.
We have been talking about this particular issue
Okay. I'm with you.
for literally years now. I remember raising this issue. I remember Jade taking it up. I remember people in the public talking about this. Right? And I am going to, and this is the problem, right? The problem I'm having reconciling my feelings on this issue is like part of it is because of what we just signed in Guyana. And I don't want a repeat of that type of grief here in St. Kitts. Now, what could possibly happen that we could have foreseen years ago that hasn't been addressed, that could possibly anyway come close to the tragedy in Guyana, right? Why we ain't fix the road around Fort Thomas yet, right under the school?
Because they know what? It's not a road as them. That no longer is a part of St. Kitts. And they just didn't tell us.
Now, let me tell you something, right? All jokes aside, right? All jokes aside. There's at least 2 schools, I think, in that area. With the youngest among us having to travel there, they told me years ago that they have a plan that they're instituting to fix the area to deal with it. They're going to be doing bam, 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 bam. All I have seen since then is a no entry sign from one end of the road. Now explain to me how they know that when the road fall in, because it will fall in,
No, they know which
that
side they're
it
going to fall
only
in.
gonna fall in on one side of the road.
It's only that side, as him.
Jade, this ain't no joke no more, no.
It's not. It hasn't been a joke for years.
I know.
I tell you, this is not a part of St. Kitts, as him.
They have it like, it got to be the guy like a joke, Jade.
Oh.
Every morning people go and drop off their children there, Jade. It's crazy. Every morning, watch, you got people, you got people who just move here, like they just move here maybe for work or whatever, right? I was talking to some friends of mine from Trinidad. They move here to work and they were like, hey.
Oh, Lord.
Well, we know guys know that something's wrong with the road around that place by the old hotel, but
Bye. I just waiting to wake up to hear
I am.
that,
Oh
it,
my
that it
God.
fall off, you know?
Jade, I don't even want to imagine it, but how could I not? This thing
He
been
gonna
going on
fall,
for
but as
so
if he gonna
long.
fall off. They know he gonna fall off. You know how they know? Because they put an entry sign and they also assess the road. Remember they gave us an update on that?
Jade, remember they said they have a plan. They said they have a plan as to what they're gonna do with
So
the
they know he
road,
gonna
Jade.
fall off. But you know what happened? We're very reactive.
Jade,
We're very reactive in this country.
Jade, we should be reacting now.
No.
Oh,
We react after, not
disasters.
before.
No. What I'm saying is the road and eat where. So we
Yeah,
should
but
be reacting.
ain't bad enough yet.
Oh,
You have
ain't
to
bad
fall
enough.
off.
Ain't bad enough yet.
You have to fall off.
Jade, I went to St. Martin some weeks ago, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
The boat left from the pier in town.
Mm-hmm.
I made it a point
To look.
to look, Jade. Ain't nothing named road up there, Jade. The whole cliff eat where, Jade. The whole cliff eat where. What they doing? We can't afford for the rest of the Caribbean to be there sympathizing with us over the loss of however much students or a tragedy and start to send in people from the RSS and then people from this fire thing in Antigua coming to help with the recovery efforts and then people sending. That's what
Thoughts
gonna
and
happen.
prayers, friend. Thoughts and
That's
prayers.
what's gonna happen. Like, I don't understand. Is either we condemn the place if y'all can't fix it,
That's all.
or fix it.
That's all. But currently, it is very easy to just block it off. So
No, but
nobody
Jade,
goes down
but
there.
I'm saying it's either you condemn it because you can't just block it off because it literally got schools there.
True.
So it's either you condemn it, which means you're gonna have to decide, well, where are we gonna put these people?
How far up you go?
I mean, how far up you go?
Like, what all gonna fall off?
You can't tell you, Jade, because when you look at it, right, even coming across by Fort Thomas, like, there's erosion happening all across there.
Oh.
But in the corner there, between Fort Thomas and OTI, crazy, Jade.
You mean MSR?
Well, I don't know if
MSR Hotel.
but
OTA does not exist anymore.
at OTI it's Fort Thomas, sorry.
Oh.
So the corner between
No, it's a Fort yeah, that's...
Fisherman's Wharf, where what used to be Fisherman's Wharf,
Yeah.
and things. So that's the coast there. Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know what to tell her about. I don't want to tell her I told you so, you know.
Jade, but
That's the last thing I want to say.
Jade, but it ain't gonna be us to say it, you know, because people been saying it all before us.
That is true.
All before us, people been talking. I personally went there.
You're braver
Right?
than me.
I personally went there. And while I was there, a truck passed and you could feel the road moving as the truck just randomly just driving. And this was like 2 years ago.
Main thing is supposed to feel roads moving.
No, Jade.
I mean, it's not an earthquake.
It wasn't like a F1 car or something.
I don't think it's supposed to feel the road move. No. Maybe it's me.
Jade, a joke these people make.
But it got to be. They literally go wait for a piece of the island to fall off.
A joke thing this,
And
but
then
Jade,
we got to be out here. Oh my God, we didn't foresee this tragedy. Oh my God, no, we could fix it. No, we
but you know what
could
gonna
fix
happen?
it.
Everybody gonna shift blame. The government gonna
Yeah,
shift
but
blame.
it can be a hot potato with that one
The
there.
government gonna shift blame and the past administration. The past administration ain't gonna say nothing, but then public works gonna get called in because them the ones who come along. The police gonna come in now and say, well, they tell us just block off the road. We ain't the engineers them. The engineers gonna come and say, well, we gave them the plan long time. Nobody execute the plan. Everybody gonna just blah 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 blah. Well, meanwhile, people trying to figure out how to pick up the shambles of their life what fall over in the cliff. Like, me understand. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, we don't want to have to deal with the type of pain that Guyana dealing with right now.
Not at all. Not at all. And we
It's children around. Like, this is the same thing I had with the same Basti High School situation here. I say, you want to tell me the health and safety of children at an educational facility ain't enough to just pump us into action? Like, I don't understand. You got time now, you got, one government got one thing to say, the opposition got one thing to say. Everybody.
Fed with 3 governments deep, you know. And this bad thing, 3 governments deep.
But what I'm saying is, how is it, right?
So how long you think they would fall enough?
No, they fall enough longer than back in school. You know?
Okay. And they fix diet. I tell you, they're gonna wait till they're gonna wait till it literally slide down.
Well, I
slide into the water.
Right now, right? Somebody click this, put it on Facebook, do whatever. Tell them that we don't want to hear no excuse. I don't care who administration, I don't care who in public works, I don't care who the engineers be, I don't care which ministry, that they gotta fix. No. Like, it don't make no sense.
Them man was fully billing. And that's the thing that does bother me, you know. Y'all just be fully well aware of these things, building all kind of things, talking about new prison and new hospital and all kind of things. And piece the island falling off, you know. Piece of the island is literally about to fall into the water. Not one word on that. Not one talking point. Not one discussion on any platform. You hear it on a platform? Anytime throughout election? From the 3 parties that we have? Well, 5. Well, it ain't Eve's fault, but you know. Not once. But I talking about who building hospital and who thief money and all kind of. Somebody needs to steal some money and fix that.
All I saying, Jade, I don't want to hear no excuse.
Okay.
I don't want to hear no excuse. Let me tell you all this, right? I don't care. It might take another 10 years. It might take another 2 months. I don't care which administration in. Let me tell you, whichever administration in and something happen around here, even if part of the world just cave in, may want to hear nothing come the next election time. I don't want to hear about all the good things I do. I don't want to hear about hospital you build. I don't want to hear about prison you build. I don't want to hear about house I built. Me want to hear nothing. Because this is ridiculous now. It's ridiculous. It's the same thing with the water issue. Administrations come, administrations go. Administrations come, administrations go. Same thing. At a certain point, people are going to have to just draw the line and say, look, this issue got to get fixed. This issue got to get fixed. I don't want to hear nothing else. Oh, you build 5,000 homes? Kudos to you. Wham to the water situation. Oh, y'all buy X amount of X-ray machines at the hospital? Kudos to you. Wham with the water situation. That's how we got to start moving. Because some of these things here is like, it's just going on forever and ever and ever and ever. Amen. I don't understand what is happening.
You think I thought I would have been living battle to battle nightly?
You live tongue, Jade, if it's one place.
Battle to battle nightly, bye.
Jade, you literally could back a stone, literally, from your house to the aquifer. Literally, you could back literally just take a stone straight, hit the aquifer.
You know how I know to the point where this is ridiculous and I'm getting comfortable enough with this. Like, ain't even becoming an issue, which is a bigger problem, eh? The fact that you're not even recognizing
you're
that
already adapting.
Yeah. When I went to Martin, I forget that down there got water.
So you want to go bed?
Why?
Like me, I'm 7 o'clock, me,
yeah, me want to go.
Oh, wait, I said, man, no.
I know country that have water.
But here with the country, you say, St. Martin.
St.
Martin about 2 wells. A water shot on the driver around delivering water.
And I got more water than us. We're so small, how we got the water? We're too small to have these kind of issues, you know.
But no, it ain't even just that we're too small, Jade. Isn't like we have the facilities to deal with it, Jade. The engineering just need to be put in place.
Okay. But I would think that it would be easier because we're small. Eh?
Yeah, but the places that we're talking about smaller than us.
St. Martin is smaller than us. St. Martin is smaller than us. And St. Martin got water. Right? St. Martin didn't even recover from a hurricane yet. And they got water.
Jade, what I'm saying is, I ain't even blaming the administration.
No, ain't that fault. I had no water before them, you know?
No, when I say the administration, me talking about whoever government. I talking about it. I saying the issue the people. Because it's them fault, you know. All them who eat now, them who was eating before, and them who was eating before them there, who eat now. Because...
Oh, yeah, it's true, me am.
Yeah, this thing going on for years upon years.
That was there for sure, yeah, but it's all fault for sure, me am. I forget all your fresh. The only person for to be Angel.
Jade, what I'm saying is, Jade.
But can you have water? But I say we used to laugh after can you buy?
Let me tell you something, Jade. You can't come in, right? You can't come into a situation where you know you have these long-lasting issues, right? And ain't have a proper plan as to how you're gonna deal with it. We ain't talk about desalination from this administration to deal with the water issue, right? Cool. Right. So we see how that plays out, right? They've been talking about how they have a plan to deal with to address the water situation in Kayan, etc., etc., etc. We're gonna see. The problem I have is just like how the administration don't tell us they already have a plan to deal with the road around here, and here we are another year since they said that, and we can't even see here. Not all they do is put up one of them no entry thing on half of the road. Is we.
Bye.
I don't, Jade,
that's so insulting, right?
I am telling
you. We tell her the road falling off. I just put up on the entry side and a half.
Let me tell you something, Jade.
What kind of, who thought that was a good idea?
Let me tell you something, Jade. Jade, I don't want to hear no excuse. I don't want to hear none. None. If we, and I'm saying we because, again, I believe that we need to make noise about some of these things, Jade. If we allow that they to, Jade, the parents of the children in them school, they need to be done by government headquarters all now.
I'm shocked nobody picketing.
They need to be crossed by public works, making noise all now, Jade. They're supposed to be calling on the radio stations daily and Facebook making noise. I don't understand how it, me and a child going there, Jade.
Neither me.
And I'm so scared about that situation.
Matter of fact, my child along the way, I hope that the emotion ain't
coming. Reach all the way down there.
Bye.
We have to deal with the situation, Jade. And again,
man, I think it's bigger than Martin.
Great, I told you, I want to say, and I just ain't taking you on.
I thought that, really, that's what I was saying.
That's what I was telling you.
But I feel bigger than take it, why? Anyway, that's not the point. The point is we need water. And we need y'all not to let take it fall off. You're about to be smaller than St. Martin real soon.
Imagine that.
If this cliff fall off, you're going to be smaller than St. Martin.
Man, I don't understand.
But neither me, boy.
2 schools over there, Jade, 2.
And in a pothole, we're telling them to fix. The road, piece of the island is falling off. Piece of the island that has schools and other businesses surrounding it and homes is falling off. Is this not troubling? I don't get it. Why is this not troubling?
Somebody please just tell the powers that be that they need to get on this, please. I don't want to have another press conference and ain't talked about. I don't want to hear.
Hey, what the media buy? Why are you asking what's going on with
this? No, because there's always something to ask about, right? But I am saying personally, when I start thinking about what's going on in Guyana, and you start thinking to yourself, why weren't the youngest and one of the most vulnerable groups among society, why weren't they protected? Why weren't they safe? Mm-hmm. Why is it that we now have to mourn 20 children that have passed away? Why? How that happened?
Because.
And then you start thinking to yourself, but guess what? We in the position that Guyana would have been in 2 weeks, 3 years prior to the incident, and they didn't act, and we ain't acting either. Mm-hmm. We're not acting either. How much years now we are asking for a pedestrian crossing by Connery? By Connery preschool, Jade.
Azem.
Connery preschool. There's a preschool.
Mega late to you. I think that I was listening to you.
Jade, they come, they put all kind of pedestrian crossing by the college where everybody who going in there driving, Jade. The school bus dropping this. They put up nice bright signs talking about, is it that the school had to do it themselves with coordination?
Somebody didn't tell us this already?
I don't know, Jade, but I know the school can't just come up and go put down road signs. No, so there must be some collaboration.
Traffic department have to be involved in that.
There must be some collaboration. You can't just go paint something on the island main road. No. So obviously, the police had to be involved.
So wait, that should be a given.
How is it
It's a
that
preschool.
preschool right on the corner
Of a main road.
up the main road, no pedestrian crossing every morning, trans stop in there to drop off the children.
Yeah.
Every single morning.
And when realize that like
Every single morning, Jade. Not even a little slow down sign. Like, okay.
not even a speed bump. Nothing, just road.
Why is it that we can't? Is it because the voice is softer than ours? That's what going on?
That's how we treat children, so.
I mean, I don't understand, Jade. These are simple fixes.
Yeah.
Simple fixes.
It's literally paint. This one is literally paint.
Just put up a sign and say school zone then.
That's all. Not even that.
Put
And
up
it
a
is
sign
a
and say
school zone.
Just put up a sign and say school zone. A
Well,
government school.
I don't understand. It's a government school.
It's a government school, Jade.
It is a government school. So y'all
Insane.
insane.
It's
right?
insane. So I'm waiting to see what it is they could possibly tell us now.
When the piece of the island fall off?
I don't understand.
Oh.
I don't understand what's gonna happen.
I may want to find out neither, you know, so I don't even want this to be a thing.
That's the point I'm making, Jay. They don't want to wait until something happens.
Yeah, I don't want to have to come here and tell y'all that the island fall off. That piece of the island has fallen off after we telling y'all for umpteen years that it's eroding. And we can understand these things. Places in St. Kitts eroding. We could see it when we go to like the countryside and all of these things. Some people's houses literally on the water edge. It's an island, we know it erodes. However, we don't expect y'all to just watch it erode and don't do nothing to at least. If you can't fix it, find out how to move these places from around here because it's not safe. It is literally. We had a house roll down a hill over Birdwalking, so what do you think going to happen when the island fall off? The house is going to fall off too. The daycare going to fall off. The schools going to, like, the business places, the homes, everything is going to fall over. And God forbid people there when it happen. What now? You know what's going to happen when y'all don't put a slow down, a pedestrian crossing, a school zone by a school on a main road? Something bad is going to happen.
Jade, I'm telling you, Jade. You see,
A lot of these things preventable.
Anyhow, you see like in Guyana? You see like what happened in Guyana? Let's say there's been a call to address some of these situations, right?
Somebody said the school asked, I think the school are talking about that got their own, they asked and it was given. Nothing for local students.
Yeah, but Jade, something should click in your mind and say, oh, look at this. The universities understand that there needed to be some sort of indication that you're entering a school zone and so you should move accordingly.
Yeah.
That there should be a pedestrian crossing, right? Mm-hmm. Even if you never thought about it before, Jade.
When you realize
that ain't a signal to be like, oh well, let me go and check around.
What
and
else
sure.
have?
And let's do an initiative and map the school zones. You know what I'm saying? But okay, forget that. You didn't have the forethought to deal with that and do it at this particular time, right? But people been asking.
That school ain't just built, you know? That's not a new school.
But people been asking. I'm not me. I've been asking, Jade.
When you're asking for a road for you, then you can't get it. I don't know what to tell you.
But no problem. You want to give me the road, no problem. That's fine. You understand?
But
you got certain things now that you ain't even supposed to be a...
I beg, I ask, I plead, I run behind.
Yeah.
Let me don't even. We got...
Anyway, like I'm saying.
I was about to go off on a tangent.
For me, like I said, the reason why this came to mind is because of the tragedy in Guyana, right?
Yeah.
The tragedy in Guyana. And it's something that always is in the back of my mind. That if we are not careful, right, and if we don't act soon, there's a real possibility that the way that the rest of the world is looking at Guyana, that the rest of the world can look at St. Kitts. Offering us sympathies and condolences over the loss of young lives. We don't
vigils and candlelights.
It don't make no sense. Just fix it.
And all we have to do is do something. We could prevent. The thing is, we could prevent these things, you know.
Yeah, they say they have a plan.
Well.
The head of public works sat with us, me and you, and said that they have a plan.
You know what? Let me call him.
They say that. That's what they say.
Let me call him. I'm going to see if we can talk to him next week because somebody has to tell us what happened.
And they can't say that they haven't acknowledged the danger there.
They put her
Because they put a no entry sign
on one side.
on one side of the road, apparently.
I don't know if it's on Vicky.
So, somebody clip this, please. Post it to
That's
the post it to, send it to an email or
I gonna do it myself,
a
don't worry.
WhatsApp or something.
I gonna do it myself.
Like, yeah, please. This, like, you understand? Like, I'm begging now. Like, this ain't me cussing, this ain't me arguing, this is me literally begging. Begging. I know at least one child that goes to the school, goes to one of the schools there. At least one child. Right? I didn't know anybody who went there previous, but now I know at least one child. Right? I know at least one child. So, like, it come personal for me now. So, me cussing, me
Are you
arguing.
asking nicely?
I'm just saying, look, let's deal with it, please. Please. Because God forbid something happens, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. Everybody, from who Ian to who the engineers be, whoever come up with the plan, to the police, to the public works people, me want to hear nothing. Just resign. Resign, go home, don't come back. As a matter of fact, I tell you, we need to bring back expulsion here and exile here.
No, this is
Sometimes you got to exile people.
this will
I
be
don't want to
very
hear
fitting.
nothing.
Very fitting.
I
If
don't-
oil and a word, if oil a piece of the oil and fall off and anything happens.
I don't want to hear anything.
Minimum want to put that
there.
there in the atmosphere, yeah?
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping this never happens. I'm hoping this never happens.
Me too, man.
Right?
God,
And
that's
that
a
is
hard
why we're
one to
taking the time.
That's by
That's why we're taking the time
again.
to ask, to bring it back to the forefront of
Again.
thought. Bring it to the forefront of your minds.
For the umpteenth time.
That this need to be addressed. But anyhow, anything, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody.
Just take the passport.
If anybody could even ask you a question about how, just resign. Just everybody, just resign. I don't want to hear nothing. This is ridiculous now, man. Years upon years, ridiculous. Crazy. Anyway, in a good mood today.
See what I do?
I'm in a good mood today, Jade.
All I say is that somebody else died in the end, I don't know.
But Jade, I like them things there. 20 children, you know, Jade? 20 children.
20 children died in a fire.
How do you reconcile that?
Listen, you asked the wrong person. Because it's way deeper than that. Is 20 children died in a fire in a school that has one entrance. A young lady locked the door because she decided, I take which phone? She
Jade,
having
I
that.
spoke to somebody who works in the public works department in Guyana, right? No fire alarm. No fire alarm, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, what you call them? Fire extinguishers.
No.
Hasn't been any fire drills. Right? There's grills on the windows. Right? Which we all got grills on the house now, so we understand what's going on with that. Yeah?
I'm watching mine sideways now.
Right. But the part of the thing is that, well, you have to have the other stopgaps in place, right?
True.
And be prepared for these types of things. Not only that, one of the things that makes that situation even more interesting is that based on the building codes, for X amount of square feet, right, on the floor, you should have X amounts of entrances and exits. Not that ain't even up to the government-owned building code. It's not even up to the government's own building code.
I just vex we're so reactive in this world. We always wait until things happen for us to be like, oh, we shouldn't have, or we need to fix, or let's do. No, we.
Yeah, so like I said, it's very unfortunate what happened again. Condolences to the friends, family, loved ones, and just the community, and especially the indigenous community there in Guyana. Like, I mean, for a community of people that are already so diminished, right? It's a whole generation gone there.
Yeah.
So I think some of the children range from like age 5 or something like that.
Twins and all, like, bye.
Yeah.
Anyway, friend.
And I tell the people come send the children in school, yeah?
Is that you?
I tell the people
So
come
about
send the
this
children in
education thing, you watch us now. Anyway, let me go to a break here.
school. Guys, we're going to take a short break and be right back with more Sip and Chat right here at the Sugar Factory. You guys know what to do. Get your mugs, fill it right back up, and come back for more conversation right here as we jump into a pretty special interview.
Yeah,
I'd
man.
say, right?
No, I fave.
Yeah, definitely a fave. Definitely a friend. Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
But for sure, guys. So stick and stay. We'll be right back with more Sip and Chat.
Get ready for an unforgettable experience at the Royal St. Kitts Hotel. Join us for Pink Suntopia, a food and good vibes affair on Saturday, 24th June from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Splash Bar. Dress code is Shades of Pink. General admission is $20 and buffet inclusive is $65. You don't want to miss out on the amazing music from DJ Levi Chen, DJ Collision, DJ Hollywood HP, DJ Terror, Sister Sensia, and EK The Real Ride. Tickets are available at No Rush Bar Porzante and Royal St. Kitts Hotel. Come and enjoy the
Get more value for your money when you activate your Digicel Prime bundle. More choices for what you want at low prices. More talk time on the most reliable network. More any-use data for whatever you're into searching and sharing. And dedicated data for more new apps to stream your music, shows, and live sports. Activate a Digicel Prime bundle of your choice in the My Digicel app today and save more. Digicel, better connected.
Welcome back to Sip and Chat right here on the Sugar Factory, and as you can tell, we are joined by a very special guest in studio with us. We have Mr. Jonel Powell in studio, big friend of the show. Mm-hmm. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me.
You look well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Jade has been behind me for quite some time now, but we finally made it happen.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the first time at the Sugar Factory, so I mean, and I suspect it won't be a last.
I was offended because why would he take so long to go?
Things going on. The man got things to do. The man making plans. I tell you, this is maybe multi-dimensional gentleman here, you know.
Everything takes time and everything happens when it's supposed to happen.
See that?
And it's supposed to happen this morning, so pleasure to be here.
I feel like he was harder to get Jonel than when he was a politician in government. When he was a minister.
Maybe he just have a lot going on right now.
Well,
I hope so.
Well, back in the private sector, working full time in my office again, so you know.
You know what it is, Jade?
You know what it is?
He's a man of the people, and at the time we were the people. Now he's doing private sector work, he ain't the same thing.
Oh.
We were the people.
Oh, we're the people.
No, man, nothing changed, just schedule it.
But, I mean, Jonel, I know, like you said, is shifting and movement for you from since the last time we spoke on our previous show. And how has it been for you, just personally, moving back into the public sector? You still have been, I can tell, very much engaged in your community and all of that. But what has that shift been like for you?
It's I wouldn't say it's difficult, but it's just sort of a transition that you just have to make. And you have to adjust. Not everything necessarily goes the way you want it to. You know, how our system of governance here is today in, tomorrow out. Today out, tomorrow in kind of thing. And So people been saying, I've been quiet and other people been quiet, but the reality is, life does go on after government, after an election and politics, and so, the last few months have really been dominating my life in terms of that transition back in the private sector, trying to pay the bills. I don't collect any kind of monies from the government. That period is behind me for now at least. And so, it's just back in the law firm, working as a lawyer full time. It was a bit difficult for the law firm because both partners, Lindsay Grant and I, were in government.
Right.
So you had the two bosses, the two fee owners out of the firm for out of the business for the last couple of years. So they're sort of building that back up and that sort of thing.
El Jefe is back.
And just trying to be in the community. Obviously, I did take a break from everything. After the election,
You got to recharge.
Yeah, to recharge, refocus. Take stock of everything. So I did that, but I back on the road, back in the community, back in my office, doing everything, and that's life.
I suspect. Let me not even say that. What I've had a lot of thought about, as it relates to persons who answer the call to go into public life, politics, into that type of service for the country and community, right? I've always thought about what the dynamics must be like for young people who take that step and answer that call, because whereas, persons who may have worked in the public sector for more years may have been able to amass certain resources, build certain safeguards, especially entrepreneurs and business owners who would have been able to, over time, hopefully build up their businesses to a point where you can, continue to move as they transition. I always wonder, what that thought process, that feeling is for a young person who may not, at that time when the call is answered, be in that same position. We've spoken about this before, and I said, but it got to be really not only risky but a little scary for persons jumping into that when you're young, because if you decide to, okay, I've done my part and step away, or if it's like the people decide to go in a different direction, then come back, and so where does that leave you? It's and is that something that you've thought about? And obviously you have to deal with it now, but is that something that you had thought about prior to entering?
Yeah, absolutely, I saw it. What better example than our first Prime Minister, Dr. Simmons, who was in government for 15, 20 years, at the pinnacle Prime Minister, and he had an election, and the next day he was not Prime Minister.
Right.
And what then? He ended up going back into medicine, practicing medicine after how many years, and that's just how it is, And for young people, especially, if you've not had that time to, as you said, build up resources and have some sort of a safety net, it could be very tricky, because you give up everything, your profession, maybe you have a job, you give it up to go into service, in the government, and maybe you get a term, maybe I had two, those were 2 years because of circumstances. And then all of a sudden, what happened? No, we're supposed to go. At least for me, I'm a professional. I have a professional degree. I could just, I can adapt. And so I was fortunate in that case. The other thing too is, I know some persons close to me don't want me even thinking about going back into politics, because they're like, but you just spent the last 10 years of your life. I just hit 40 this year. So they're like, you just spend like
A good
Yeah.
chunk.
your 10 best years
Prime years. They might. Some people
wow.
might say. Some people might say.
living for other people.
Yeah.
When you start to live for yourself,
Right.
that's how some people look at it. But there's some merit to it.
Right,
And
of
you know,
course.
these are things that young people should really stop and think about.
Be mindful of for sure.
Yeah, you know, there's a saying that, you know, politics ain't for poor people. I don't think the point is trying to keep poor people out, but politics it costs money to
Yeah.
be in there, to not just the campaigning, the campaigning and the shirts and this sense of cost money, but it takes a toll on your personal life. And
Right.
That's what we're talking about. I mean, if you're not in a position to put, you know, have a little something to sustain you when you come back home. What happens?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is what breeds the corruption in government.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Because I always say I give a nod to young people. You know, people under 40 in particular,
Yeah.
who to take that step. It's scary. Yes, it has to be scary. It has to be.
Right?
You know, but like you said, thankfully you possess a certain skill set that would allow you to continually, you know, make a way for yourself and stuff like that. And so I'm hoping that things are going well for you. Let's say. You don't have to say, but
But he look
that's
great
the
yet.
hope.
He look
That's the
great.
hope.
I give him thanks. I give
Yeah.
thanks to God for every day, for life, and you know, the ability to come here and sit down and be able to talk about you know, these kind of things.
Yeah.
Boy.
So, I mean, we got a change of administration,
Yep.
and things have been moving. I think now we're like around the 9-month mark, somewhere around 9-10 months.
That's how long election was already?
Yeah,
Yeah.
around now.
Oh, wow, we're
that's-
going on
yeah.
to a year. Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, what has been just your assessment of generally, I don't need to really speak specifics, but generally,
When we're talking to politicians.
right,
And the chairman of the party.
right, but
No.
but I'm saying, you know, just looking at where they're at and what they seem to be planning to do or what they've done. What's your general assessment of the governance so far?
You know, I start off by saying a lot of people are saying, "Pam, quiet," and you know, people like me, quiet. We're supposed to be out there. We just lost an election. We're supposed to be out there, you know, challenging the government. But I believe that you had to give them some time to really assess them.
Feel?
A man can't go into government in August and in September you're done jamming him on something. You know, I mean, I've been there, done that. It's a transition. It takes time to get your feet wet, but at the same time, if you're going to do something, you better be ready for it. Whether you get thrown in the deep end or not. And so, you know, I've assessed, I've looked. I find that, and this is just my opinion, things are difficult in the country right now, economically. The economy is down. Money is not flowing. I mean, these are just facts of life. These are just facts of life. The manner in which certain social programs are dealt with, whether you agree with the program or not,
Right.
the way you deal with it
Right.
affects the persons on those programs.
Yeah.
So if you just check a set of people off the STEP program or off the PAP or off the peace, whether you agree with the programs or not.
Right.
You know, the peace program, for example, was very controversial. You're paying people to behave and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the reality is you had people depending on this income
Right.
for a certain time. And now you've
Not people who would have received the initial payment, but
No,
the people
but
who
the
they
families,
support, right?
Exactly, and that's just a reality. And so, you know, even the manner in which things, you know, those programs are dealt with, we're now seeing people ain't got no money in their pockets. The economy's down, we're post-COVID. No fault of the government, but the cost of goods in supermarkets continue to rise. And that blow my mind.
Tell me about it, brother. Tell me
Blow
about
my
it.
mind.
Why?
I don't understand what's going on there.
Neither do I.
So, you know, I shopping for one person. You know, well, half my daughter buy me sometimes. But I don't understand how people with big families
I don't understand
deal with it
either.
because things are hard.
It is.
Things are hard, and so we need to see some stimulation in the economy. That's really needed.
So you see that maybe so you're saying the economy is one of the main areas that you think needs attention at this particular time.
Absolutely. The economy needs serious attention. I know there's been a lot of discussion about these houses and this whole housing deal. I've made comments on it publicly. I believe that we need houses. There's a serious demand for housing. It will also, generate more activity in the economy. That's what construction does. I do question this particular deal and how they're going about it, but in principle, yeah, we need the houses. We need houses and we need the construction. But let's just do it in a sustainable way. Let's do it in a transparent way.
Maximize the benefits to the
Absolutely. Why is some foreign company getting a loan from a foreign financial institution to do housing here when we're the financial finance in the Caribbean? I mean, we could do it here.
Yeah, I think a lot of times there are questions about not just what any administration does, but how it's done, right? And I think there's a lot to be said for how things are done, how things are handled. I don't think there's anybody who would argue that, yes, we need homes and we need these things, but again, I think a lot of the questions come about how it's handled and how it's approached and that kind of thing. But that's the government, and then of course now you're talking about the government, we have to talk about the opposition. I think that just like there have been people who are questioning the governance, I think there are people who have been questioning the opposition, right, and figuring out where, after the events of last year, where does not only the opposition as a whole stand, but in particular, the People's Action Movement. Like you said, there's people who might have said, my nigga has been a bit quiet. There's people who support the party who may be wondering what are the next steps? What are next steps for the party that we support? And I guess hopefully there are people who's hoping that some of these answers these questions get answered this weekend. But perhaps you could give us a bit of a preview, or at least some insight into what's been happening with Pam.
All right. Well, this Sunday, the 4th of June, we're going to be having our 57th annual convention on the party at party headquarters at 2 o'clock. Under the theme Reflect, Re-engage, Revitalize. Reflect, re-engage, revitalize. And that's exactly what we are doing as a party right now. You have, you persons would have seen a lot more activity from persons like myself, the leader, Sean Richards, in terms of social media and commentary and stuff like that. But that is where we are. The reality is, look, we're in government this time a year ago, or maybe a couple months before, because by then they didn't come and give me.
I did that. But,
Jade is who served me the walking papers.
They work by.
But last year we in government holding, the largest block of seats in the parliament. A year later we out of government with only one seat in parliament. And so it is time for us to reflect on what happened. I think for the most part, we are aware of what happened. Whether everybody agreed with how things went down is a different story, but we are still here very much. The party is still very strong. But as a strong party, you need to understand when it is time to pivot, assess yourself, and move forward. And that's exactly what PAM is doing right now. I think the theme for the convention certainly reflects that. that position that we're in right now, and it's about making some changes to ensure not just that PAM stays a strong party and does better the next summer, excuse me, around, but that we are an effective opposition, that we do position ourselves as the government in waiting or the alternate to the government with proper plans. So it can't just be about everything the government do, you attack on your cost.
Right.
It's about providing options and viable options and agendas that really look out for the people of the country.
Right.
Well, I mean, as you mentioned, you've had some time to sit back and look at all of the things that may have caused you guys to be in the position that you're in now. What are some of the top ones that you realize, okay, if I could have done this differently, maybe the outcome would have been a little, maybe not, but maybe if I just, didn't do this and I did this instead, things could have been different.
Well, the hindsight is 20/20. But, and there are one or two little things that perhaps we could have done differently. I think for the most part, the breakdown of team unity is what, let me put it this way, Labour Union win, team unity lost.
Okay.
And it was a breakdown of team unity that caused the election to go in the way it went. It's clear that not everybody understood what the whole fallout was about. Some people are still, they still don't understand, they're still a bit confused, and so I think that is part of it. And it's about really being honest with ourselves and really trying to understand and listen to people. I find for me right now, when I go and I talk to people, they're a lot more willing to talk and expressive now than they were in the campaign.
Right.
So you're going to talk to John Brown and John Brown kind of giving you some attitude and thing, and but now the same John Brown is prepared to come and say, "Boy, I never understand why you were saying." Boy, me get the X this time, but Vex, I wish I did give you for true, I know see what you were saying, and it's the messaging, but
you think that there's a lot of things that the party obviously are looking into or considering. Do you believe that one of those also needs to be a rebranding of the party? Do you believe that there was, because you mentioned messaging just now, do you believe that the party, even if it doesn't have a branding problem, perhaps there is more that could be done in terms of shaping the brand of the party, the way that people view the party, see the party, etc.?
Absolutely. I mean, politics is about perception. You could do the best job. I mean, I tooted my own horn by giving as an example. CARICOM recognized me and St. Kitts for the way we manage education throughout the entire region. A man on the ground and said, "But you do worst minister of education we ever had in St. Kitts and Nevis." So it's about perception. And so I do believe that we do need to work on that. There's this, I think the biggest one, PAMing for poor people. If you look at the track record, the things that PAM has done, the policy that PAM has put in place for poor people in this country outshines any other government, any other party in this country. But it's perception. And I think it was in a meeting yesterday, somebody said, if you say this mug red enough times, people will start to believe it red. And so we have to work on that. We need to defend and promote what we've done, but more importantly, what we're going to do. And I think that is part of it. We gotta start operating in such a manner that people, the regular person, everybody could level with.
Well, let me see. There's something that I say, right? There's something that I say, and the reason I'll bring it up now is because of what you said. The perception that or Pam is elitist. Because we've even had it speaking to people who say, "Oh, Pam, come out to the plantocracy," and that kind of thing, right? So traditionally, we Caribbean people, we black people, coming out of, particularly in St. Kitts, very little land ownership, poor, right? One would say that we are labor, right? Just traditionally and because of the way the movement progressed in the past, right? And so it is not that, as we've seen, that people will not look to other political movements and political parties to put into leadership positions, but traditionally, the majority of people seem to be labor leaning, and it's across the Caribbean, right? If that is true, what are some of the things that political parties that are trying to contribute to what's going on, and of course believe that they have plans that could move the country forward, etc., etc. What are some of the things that these parties, PAM and other parties across the region, have to do to combat that reality?
I think it has to do with recognizing that the electorate is thinking differently now. And while, yes, traditionally, it was really a comparison of the perceptions of poor and elitists. I don't think the typical voter today is thinking like that. The typical voter today tends to be thinking more along the lines of, what are you going to do for me? How are you going to make my life better? Although I do find that younger voters now are thinking a lot more policy. Because traditionally, we vote because my mother was a PAM, my grandmother was a PAM. If I vote Labour, my grandfather get turned in the grave, you know. Or because there was a particularly dire situation, you vote a particular way. Right. But today I think, you know, the thinking is different amongst the electorate, and so we got to really be mature politically and start engaging the electorate on issues, on these things, and educating the electorate. I believe that's where people are getting smarter and smarter and smarter, and we need to recognize that and respect that about the electorate.
I think that is a great point. I think recognizing that the considerations are the things that the electorate considers, I think, has been shifting over time. I don't believe that we could ignore persons' traditional leanings, but like you said, there has been, I would say, some evolution in the minds of the electorate. So I think definitely educating the electorate is a big part of it. At least just acknowledging that there might be another way to appeal to the electorate outside of speaking just about, well, who your people be. And that kind of
right. And who you're voting for. I mean, there are people who have engaged and canvassed and campaigned to without talking anything about voting. Because is it you're in this thing to win an election, but is that all? That's just how I think. And when I engage somebody and I realize they're going a particular way, that is when I engage in them on, because in order for me to be successful, apart from actually getting the votes, but having gotten the votes for me to be successful in the new role you give me, I gotta understand the people. And for me, you know, people ask me, you know, how has politics changed you? For me, it has given me it's humbled me and given me a different perspective because of the opportunity I've had to just sit on a block with somebody and just reason with them and hear their perspectives. Sometimes we need talking to Pam and Liam it's just life. And this, I mean, it blows one's mind when you think, when you understand the level of thinking out there. And sometimes we judge people. We see somebody and we judge them and they engage you on and come with the most amazing thoughts. But you gotta give them a chance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and well, now you're back in the role of just not being in government, but you've taken a step back into the regular world, as you call it. But you're still going to your community and you're still talking to the people of your community. And currently we see there's a big issue happening in your community. What, from the people, what have you been hearing that has seemingly shifted how things were to now, where we're having all this rise in crime, we have people dying almost monthly, it feels like. What have you been hearing being back out there?
You know, Matt Knight is a proud people, and this is not one of the things that we're proud about. People are concerned. People are genuinely concerned. You know, like the fact that every time something happened, Matt Knight, they didn't get called whether it happened in Matt Knight or not. But they're very concerned about it. I think we all are. We thought for the most part that this was behind us, and clearly it's not. And so it begs the question: why? What is causing these incidences again? And there are different perspectives. I don't think I'm at liberty to try and guess and assume, but
and not only that, I want to believe that it may be a number of variables, right?
It might be a number of variables. It may not necessarily be a government thing.
Or one thing, yeah.
Or
right.
one thing. It could be, you know, we still do have gang affiliations, whether you like it or not. Man might arrest on the colors, but they're still identified. It could just be a series of related but very isolated events. But the reality is we don't need this. In our society, we've come too far to go back down that road. I think it was sometime this week I saw a comparison. Antigua just had their first murder.
And 25.
The population is like twice ours. You know, so what's happening?
Right.
But you know, we have to be vigilant, and I think we have to be vigilant. Look out for each other, but at the same time, we can't tolerate it. At some point, the community have to get up and say to somebody that they might have had a bit of fear for, yo, we ain't dealing with this no more. At some point, the community will have to rise up. I think there's only so much the police can do, so much the government can do. But until the people get up and make a difference, persons will feel they could get away with these brazen acts. And so, you know, I think that's where all of us need to come together and unite over that.
I think that, and I've said it here several times, I believe that any real lasting solution must originate from within the community and then have buy-in from surrounding communities, government, police, other social institutions. But whatever it is that is necessary, it must originate from the community as well as some of the persons who are most affected and maybe involved. I don't think that I could come from outside and decide that this is what it will work. Like I don't have the proper you know, insight.
You hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head, because the people who are making decisions and coming up with the plan, they can't identify with what's happening.
Right.
They don't understand it. Even when they might think so, they don't understand how certain people, different people, and this is something politics has taught me. There are some people out there with a very different mentality.
Yeah.
That me and you, the three of us, we see these people all the time and we talk to them, but if you really get into the head, we can't identify with it.
No,
you
it's
know?
different psychology.
And it's just different psychology based on experiences.
And
Yeah.
circumstances, yeah.
And circumstances. And so, as you said, is people been affected? Might be somebody who might feel, boy, if this thing continue, I can get caught up in it. It might be a mother, it might be a child.
Right.
Is the community, it has to be a bottom first, grassroots movement and not a reaction from the hierarchy.
Right. I really believe that to be the only way we could come up with any long-lasting response and hope to have any real change in the situation. But it really is unfortunate. Do you see yourself as not only someone who has the attachments you have to the community, but even as someone who would have represented and fought for the cause of the people and perhaps even looking to do so in the future? Do you believe that you have a very clear role in trying to foster the response that we're talking about? Recognizing, yes, it comes from the people who are most affected and the people who are involved, but do you believe in your capacity that you have a very clear role to try and, are you in a responsibility to try and help what's happening?
I do. I mean, I'm from Matnite. My mother from Matnite, you know. That in itself, as far as I'm concerned, makes me responsible for doing something. But I do have a platform. And if we're not going to use our platforms for genuine good, then it's a waste of time. And so I think I do have a responsibility. I do, you know, talk to people. I can't sit down here and tell you, boy, I've got the solution.
I just want to ask you what it is.
But,
No, I don't think
but it's about engaging. But what I will say is, as much as we want it for people, people have to want it for themselves.
Right.
that is
And until they want it for themselves, we could talk and do and we could have walks and matches and all kind of things. But if they want it for themselves, then
we can't force it on them.
so part of the problem will have to, part of the solution will have to be that friends and family members and community members need to stop enabling. They need to stop enabling. You see your son who ain't working nowhere come in and bring home a big screen TV and put it there, and you know he ain't got no money. Ask a question.
Right.
You know they're into different things and you're hiding weapon and you do it.
Right.
Until they take responsibility and stop enabling, these things will continue to go on.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of people only take responsibility when it's on the front door? Granted that they're already involved, but when they feel it as in the person that they may have been hiding this weapon for, that person now becomes the victim of some type of gun violence. Do you think that's when they really start to sit down and think about the decisions that them and the person involved had made?
Maybe it's only when something happens you really think back and say, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. You know, so maybe some person say, well, I keep note of that.
Yeah, because that's the attitude. This ain't got to do with me.
Until it hit them.
It got to do with me and
Let them kill out themselves, is a death thing and all of these things.
it's always there. I wonder who they be.
I want to buy.
It's always there.
They're busy.
Right then are you?
Yeah.
They're busy by.
It's always there and are you?
Yeah.
You know? Oh yeah, I get that all the time.
But let's go on to a lighter note. So you spoke about being vocal on your platform, and which you are, because I read your post. If that's one thing I could say. One politician that always speaks out or speaks his mind is you. And you were vocal about a situation which is coming up, which is the whole music festival smoking issue. And I think we had a brief conversation about it one time. And they're currently in Parliament right now debating the bill. How do you feel about that? Because I mean, that's you were former minister involved in music festival, and now you're seeing these developments happening around something that you were close to. How do you feel about these new things happening?
Well, I wasn't minister, but I was the head of production and artist selection, and basically ran the production. for a long time. Azem, you've been involved. So,
So like you just implement you in something, by?
No, in production. No, but having seen the strides that we've made with the music festival over the last few years in particular, you know, and being so closely involved, I don't want to see anything happen to it. Despite what some people may think, if they call me tomorrow to ask to help the music festival, I deal. You know?
So then go tell?
So, nah.
Oh.
But on this issue, I'm gonna have to you know, disagree with them. I support, and I said it publicly, I support the smoking bill. I think it is appropriate. I hope that is not just coming now because somebody have an idea about doing a 420 music festival, because I do see a lot of gaps in it. Perhaps if you had more consultation on the particular piece of legislation, we could have filled some of the gaps in relation to it. But in general, I support it because, and when I first commented on music festival and 420, it was in the context that people need to know what they could do from what they can do.
Right.
Where they could do it from what they can.
Right.
That educate people. You gotta educate people, and so that was what I was really getting behind. Since we have decriminalized marijuana, obviously the use of it, smoking is more prevalent now. You can't hide it, man. No one can light up anywhere. And unfortunately, it is affecting other people. I ain't got nothing against smoking.
Right.
But like everything else, you have to respect the people around you.
Right.
As one man said to me the other day, he said, "Boy, I just smoke you the drink." I say, "Yeah, but the difference is I don't go around dipping my finger in my drink and sprinkling on people."
Right. Right.
But when you blow smoke,
It
you
affects
gotta be
everybody
conscious of
around you.
people around you. And so I, you know, in that context, I believe so. I've always been one to support the recreational aspect of the cannabis legislation, which was left out. I believe in that, but you gotta regulate it, obviously. As far as music festival is concerned, I completely disagree with no 420 section in the music festival. Music festival is not. We pander into a local crowd and local politics with that.
Yeah.
Music festival is a tourism event. It is an internationally viewed and recognized event. We don't mix up that. It's a government-hosted event. If a man wants to have a private event and have smoking sections and that, all props to him. I hope he get through. But I don't think the government should be getting involved in that at our premier tourism event, which is our music festival. And I can tell you, I've been through and through from the ghetto to Frigate Bay. And not one person, including some of the biggest weed smokers I know, not one of them has supported this move or is in support of it.
I mean, for me personally, I just don't understand the position. I remember we had, for instance, the Attorney General who spoke passionately about persons smoking in public, speaking about how he got calls about particularly the opening of Carnival and some of these other events. I know people had to end up in the hospital and all these kind of things. And then, so it feels weird, and I don't know where the motivation's coming from.
It's
There's an inconsistency there, for sure.
Jade, have a talk?
Please.
That's where you come here to go?
Yeah.
Look, we come out late with a music festival lineup. We come out with a lineup that is not consistent with what the music festival is about, and the numbers ain't looking good. So we gotta do something, we gotta find a way to build up the numbers. That's the reality of it.
So you think that's the motivation for this?
That's the motivation. You know what? 420 Music Festival. I don't agree with it. Whether they had the most amazing lineup with Beyonce and Rihanna and everybody coming, I still wouldn't agree with it. Leave it as it normally is. A man go in the back and you want to join in the back and you think
Yeah, but to be
Be there with
government
that.
sanctioned.
But
Yeah.
to come and put a section, bear in mind where we're going to be. We're back in Warner Park on the cricket stadium. Where are they going to put it? Where are they going to put it in that venue so as not to affect other patrons who are not in a smoking section?
Yeah.
And it's going to put them up on the mound or on the football field and on a platform only to look out defense.
Yeah, I'm really, again, the inconsistency for me, I don't understand, but also the logistics of it, which is what I think you're speaking to.
Yeah.
Right.
Is what I'm questioning.
But you're right, and I did mention that in that post, the inconsistency. How is it? The AG is one, and I agree with him in terms of what he was saying. I think a young lady had died last year, some smoke-related thing, and the calls she was getting, but yet, boy, we come with a 420 and the inconsistency, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, we see some legislation come through the month, or the month of music festival to debate because we want to have a 420 area in the music festival. Let me do it properly. What we're supposed to be, what the debate's supposed to be like, in addition to what they have and what our public debate should be about. How can we empower young people or people in general to open a cafe? How can we empower them to get the necessary equipment, ventilators, and this so they could have a cafe? You want to cater to tourists? We got almost a million cruise passengers coming in and different things. We have local persons who use marijuana. Empower some people, set up some cafes and properly, so that they could go in and they could use and they could educate people on the use. They could use. We know there are all these different products beyond, for all these different purposes.
Beyond the dry herb.
How do you give them licenses? How do you allow them to make? That's what we're supposed to be talking about. Not wasting our time talking about 420 Music Festival. We got to empower people, and that's where I find they're falling down with this.
I mean, I've said it several times. I said it to the AG, and he seemed to see where I was coming from about the fact that when so much of the conversation revolves around, for instance, marijuana as a way to raise tax revenue and to increase foreign trade and that kind of thing, but at the same time, it is still looked at and discussed as a drug, then I feel that there is some movement that needs to happen, some education that needs to happen. Like you can't tell me on one hand that this is this thing that is going to boost the economy, do all these things, but then at the same time, we still discuss it and talk about it as if it's a drug. Then you're trying to tell me what, so we are narco-democracy or something?
Yeah,
but the reality is internationally it is still considered to be illegal. And
right.
So don't care what we do here.
Right.
Don't care how many farms, we could set up 10 farms tomorrow and give 100 people work. Which international bank they can put the money in?
Right.
Not even national bank will be allowed to accept that money because it's going to be proceeds of
drug
a banned substance. And these are the things we need to be
Precisely.
educating people on. These are the things we should be addressing to say, okay, how can we come up with an alternative? How can we come up with a credit union or something that would facilitate
it, right.
the marijuana industry? But we ain't talking that yet.
Right, exactly.
No, we're talking about the popular parts about it, but not the practical.
Which is why sometimes it does seem a bit like pandering, right? It does seem a bit like we're pandering. There is obviously big public support for marijuana usage, right? For even people who might not personally partake, right? I think a lot of us recognize that marijuana might not be so much of a criminal issue. Perhaps some people may believe it's a public health issue, and so we could have the discussion around those things. But we don't seem to be having the type of conversations that are necessary to truly move the perceptions of people, and that also gives account to the overall environment, like you said, even internationally. So I think we're dropping the ball big time.
And I think that's why this government is under the kind of pressure it's under now. I've never seen a government be attacked as much as this one so fast, because it's too much talking, but we're not seeing anything happening. We're not seeing even inclinations or plans, serious plans to help people. And you know, we gotta stop when you're pandering and talking about 420. We stop talking about smoking music festival and actually create the industry. You said Unity didn't do it, your predecessors didn't do it, you have all the tools at hand to do it. Well, let's do it. I will help you. I know other people will help you. I'm not just here criticizing. I'm saying I actually agree with some of these things to a certain extent. I'm prepared to help other people. We as a nation are prepared to help for the benefit of all. Stop the lot of traveling and thing and all. The first class feel good, but you know, let's come down out to this guy on the ground and have these conversations with people and just put money back in people's pocket, man, and not just a handout every now and again. We gotta start thinking sustainably. 420 is a gap music festival done in the North. Then we talk about how we can make a sustainable industry out of this, and anything else out there that makes sense.
Well, I mean, speaking of a lot of talking, another thing that has, why a lot of things happen in these 9 months, why? Another thing that people keep speaking about is the past the high school issue. I mean, when you guys were in government, we know that you were making some plans to move it, and know that we have a new change in administration, it's back to its old grounds. How did you feel about that move, putting it back to where it was and trying to build back what was that school there?
You know, it's one of those perfect examples of where, because another administration is doing it, I can change it. Don't make no sense. And I've heard the comments, oh, $21 million spent to move that and nothing there. Yeah, certain money is what we use up front. But when the government changed last August, the project was ready to go. It was this government that halted everything. That school could have been well under construction by now. But because there's unity, they want to come with something. Oh, we said we can put it back. Having spent governments, because governments don't change in its administration.
Administrations, yeah.
And so we, the people, don't spend 21 million, then we see it through. But no, we're going back to the old site now to spend another 21 million to knock it down and get it ready and get new plans and get new engineering and get all these new things. That has already been done. I have a problem with that. That don't make sense. That's just political immaturity. I hear talk about a new hospital. The same thing. In that, why are we going to build a new hospital? We can improve what we have there. Half the hospital up there is not even being utilized right now.
Yeah, it's scary behind there, man.
I know, but you
can
phase it in. You can phase it in and look, yes, we need an upgrade in facilities and all that, but at the end of the day, I don't think the main problem is really the physical, but the mentality.
I keep saying that.
It's the mentality.
I keep saying that.
The mentality of administration,
right.
mentality of workers, because one affects the other. Building a new hospital, you could build a brand new hospital with all state-of-the-art equipment, but if you had the same old mentality in there, nothing can change.
So
You put old wine in your bottle, it's still old wine. And so that's my 2 cents on that. That facility, the new Bassi High School, could have, it was more than just a school. It was a facility for not just the immediate community, but the wider community. Infrastructurally, it was designed to improve drainage and a number of other things in that community. It freed up the old site for so many different, more appropriate things. You could have this school on the new site. We talk, well, one of the things I know I was in discussions about was the expansion of Warner Park Sporting Complex up into there. We're talking about things like a swimming pool and a this and a that, you know, to encourage swimming and build up the different sports. One proposal for part of it was a parking garage to satisfy downtown. You know, there's no parking in town now. There's so many different things, you know, but boy, did we say we're going to do this and they said they're going to do that, so we can switch it around rather than stopping and thinking about the bigger picture.
The plans for the new Bastille High School, like those were made public? Like, is there some way I could go now and see what those plans were, or they weren't?
Which one? The one at
Newtown?
Newtown. Yeah, those were made public. There was public consultation. If you remember, there was that argument about building on the aquifer and all that, and so there was public consultation. You could go online and get plans and all of that. Despite the fact that the whole of Bastille on the same aquifer. So,
Oh dear.
including the old site that they want to go back to.
Interesting.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think there is this thing that happens when there's a change of administration, right? There's this thing that happens, and at the end of the day, these changing and the get rid of everybody and bring in new people and start afresh and no continuity. At the end of the day, the people is who suffer, you know. At the end of the day, the people is who suffer, and we're the ones who got to deal with the hiccup and the jockeying that happens at this change. And sometimes I really wish that we could become mature enough to have proper transition between administrations if there's a change.
There's a need. There's an absolute need for that. I agree they do it in Jamaica. You know, somewhere close to us. Not just this, today you literally one day you're in here and then the next minute you're outside.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, you know. It's not good for the wider administration of you know, the public good. And I think, you know, it comes with electoral and other change and reforms. But we gotta do better.
We
definitely have to do better.
More maturely and differently, and not just continue to do things the way they've always been done, because that's what.
Yeah, that's where it started, and and it's good that we started, but it can't stay there. Like we going 40 years now, you know, a nation moving forward. We're going to a half century in a time where, unlike some of the countries that are older than us, they didn't have the benefit of the technology that we have now to be able to move things so much faster, the developments that we have. And we've come a long way, I think, as a nation.
We have.
But when you hear and you can see what we can do, sometimes it gets a bit frustrating. And, you know, the hope is that we could really start implementing some of these things, no matter what needs to happen, whether it is constitutional reform or whatever. I really think we need to start really strengthening our institutions. I think the institutions have become secondary to the individuals, and I think we really fall short there. Even when we start talking about moving, there's going to be things that have to change and things have to move positions. But do we even have qualifications for these positions? But do we have this? Like it feels like it feels like when you start thinking about some of these things, you wonder if this a country is like just a pletting, you know.
And when you look at, I mean, you're talking about in the case of some of these statutory corporations and even National Bank, it's billions of dollars you're talking about, you know.
Yeah.
And you just take up a man because he was a good campaign worker for me. We don't know no kind of qualifications. We got to start taking these things seriously and not just look at board appointments as political favors. Yeah. We got to start taking these things seriously.
I can tell you now, you're concerned about my social security. I hope you're ready for it.
Well, I can tell you, all like National Bank, like I've said this for years, and I continue to advocate it. National Bank needs to be taken out of the control of government.
Yes.
This thing where government has a majority shareholder and they determine the board and they think, and National Bank is the biggest bank in the region. If you mess up that, the whole country gone, the whole region.
The whole region.
And I don't believe that governments, you know, have taken it seriously.
Are even poised to be able to manage that.
Right.
They're not set up to properly manage that type of
No, we're playing politics with it.
Yeah.
So as far as
we play politics with everything in this country.
Shed the majority shareholder in the National Bank and let a proper corporate structure come in place and let them administer it without government dipping their hand into it?
Jonel, this probably ain't fall under you no more because, again, you're out of ministries now. But I have some questions about some things around Bastille High, right? I mean, not Bastille High, Bastille itself, because you were basically in charge of that thing, that sector when you was in government, right? So, for instance, some things that we spoke about recently, we're going on with the Printry and Princess Street. Why still close along? Like, where was it when you were there? How far to open?
Nobody never going on with that.
You answered the wrong person, you know.
Well, I mean, I'm asking you based on when you was there. Where was it then?
That started before we went to the government.
They're going on.
I don't know. I really don't know what the situation with it is. I do realize it's taking a very long time.
It's over. To open.
Well, we still renting, government having to pay to rent space from other people and avenue.
I asked the other day, somebody need to give me that scam here. Nobody want to give me the.
Nah,
got
die
to be a
for
scam.
you.
Got to be a scam. I just want to get in.
Yeah.
They just want to get in. I just.
They're going to tell that one.
You understand?
Yeah. And currently, Bastille looking. Well, Bastille look rough. I'm gonna lie to you. I mean, I know you drive to Bastille. It needs more than a facelift. It looks rough. It smells odd. Like too many things happening in what is supposed to be the main part of the country. Like, why?
Yeah. And well, you know, I know a number of studies and exercises that had people in here. This is just before I left government. They had people in here looking at even doing a lot of work in the Macknight, Irish Town, Newtown areas, that kind of thing, you know, trying to improve the quality of life and clean out a lot of the, you know, that was my thing, cleaning out all these old buildings and
because some of them are right in this and that and all.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
Nobody paying $5 million for a building. I understand.
Right. But you gotta hold the owners, especially those who want the $5 million, you gotta hold them accountable.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm
Just
making.
the poor people, them big properties, you gotta hold them
Right,
accountable.
Yeah, because the buildings they're looking dilapidated. Even if you're trying to sell it, like, well, you have it in that state.
No, we need to have at least committees as far as I'm concerned, especially like places like town, that they hold the owners responsible for the state of the buildings. Like look, I used to live in the States, right? You see the community I live in, though, let me grass get above 1.5 inches, yeah.
No, they're pulling upon you, man.
They're coming with the ruler.
They come in with the ruler and knocking on your door and hey, a week until you need to get this lawn fixed.
Yeah.
One of the things I've thought about in this context is like a city council or something like that. You see they have it in Kingston and so on. I think they have it in Port of Spain in Trinidad as well. A city council that really is tasked with dealing with a lot of these things and you know, trying to maintain a certain standard of quality for our people to live and work in, particularly in the city because you have so much going on.
Yeah, it's
These
ridiculous.
health hazards.
I'm just glad they're
I know
catching up
that.
the roads, dear boy. Boy.
Well, speaking of roads, where did you, while you were there, did you hear any talk about the not the Greenlands, what it's called?
Sure.
The one that falling off, take it.
Fort Thomas.
Fort Thomas. What's happening with you? Because this has been falling off for a while.
Yes, I was part of discussions in relation to that, because it's really on my constituency boundary. It was in that context I was invited. You've had even private persons who've done assessments and well, let me know call names, but they're private professionals who've actually done assessments and provided documents to various representatives like me, ministers of government, public works. It's always an assessment. It's always, you can look into it. It's always the reality is that if I remember correctly, the ocean is eroding the hillside, and I don't know what could be done. I know a big aspect was, boy, this is a major infrastructural challenge. Like, it ain't just go and fix it kind of thing. But if you got to, if you're going to knock off piece of cliff so it don't fall over and
reinforce it with concrete or something.
Mitigate the erosion, something, you just need to do it.
Yeah, because there ain't no way a truck's supposed to be driving on the road and the whole road move.
Yeah, and bear in mind, I mean, that whole road come right down to the Bear Road. is compromised, you know.
Yeah.
Which was part of my push for that Irish Town redevelopment project to fix that and to protect it from compromise further by putting the boardwalk and the reclaiming the land and that. Because that whole road is compromised, you know.
Yeah.
It only take a proper storm or even some hard
But we've
surf
seen that before.
and
We've seen
surge
it
coming
before.
in, of course, and the road mash up.
We've seen it before, and after a hurricane, part of the road sinking. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that area especially, it has kids. It has kids.
You have a school there, you have homes there. There's a nice little green space there, you know, that people, you see more and more usage of there. And, you know, there's actually a beach down there,
Yes.
apart from just on the Bay Road.
Yeah, I know that I was told that they have a plan as to how to deal with it.
That's why I asked in Jonel, because he
But
would have seen the
I-
plan.
Yeah, but
You're talking about them. About there again.
Oh.
You know, I don't know who's there.
But we are told that by the powers that be in public works.
Yes.
Like I said, I know they
So
have
I don't
looked
know.
at it. I know that they have looked at it. They are aware of what is happening, and I believe they're aware of what needs to happen. Whether they've been empowered to do it is another story.
Right.
I don't think that they have. But again, public works, I think, is under pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
Public works, you can't
Anyway,
always
that's
blame
the way
them. You can't always
Yes.
blame them.
There you go. That's the way I'm
That is why I think Ministry of Education should have its own maintenance department to deal with the schools. Take that off of public works.
I think all
Ministry of Sports,
all of them should. All of them
they should have and take the pressure off of public works
Yes.
to deal with things like that.
Yes, the maintenance of the infrastructure that's directly involved in the processes and the responsibilities of the ministry.
Yeah.
The maintenance needs to come under the ministry.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Like
I've totally been saying all the time.
We don't give public works a lot of licks.
Where the
but
school got called
sometimes
public
it ain't their
works.
fault.
Every time they do something.
And that's the thing, a lot of people don't know that Public Works is actually in charge of all of these aspects. They're probably just thinking, okay, well, they have to
Anything
deal
happen
with
called
it.
public works.
No, they can't handle it.
They can't handle it, not because they don't have the resources.
The
to
resources.
do it.
It's not big
So-
enough to do that.
So you need a door need fixing in a school,
You gotta
and
call
this is not
public
waiting
works.
for public works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so even that's why when we fixed up basketball city and did stuff in Warner Park for the CPL. I knew if I had to wait on public works, no fault to theirs. Again, not blaming them, but
Right.
because of the system.
They don't have the
But
capacity.
we had all these skill sets in there. We had plumbers, we had masons, we had painters, we had everything working in Warner Park. So you know, we give them a top up and they did it,
Right.
and everything came out well.
Yeah, I agree with that. We can't depend on Public Works to do everything. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, there's an obvious and almost inbuilt slowness to the way that government work, and I'm sure you've seen this. Going from the public sector back into private sector, into the private and the public. You've seen the difference in the way the two sectors work. So that's inbuilt, but I think that it gets to a point where we're really gonna have to do something about it. It's too many things literally falling through the cracks.
Why?
Yeah, but we can't. We gotta change this thing. Or this is how it always been done. Why
Right.
when I go for a police record, I gotta go buy a stamp first. Till now.
Bye. Listen.
Tell your
2023.
Tell your talk about that, bye.
Why when I go to renew my passport, I gotta fill out all these forms again and get birth certificate. But you don't got that.
You got
it's a renewal.
passport. Yeah. How I get the first one?
It's a renewal.
You know, you can't even, like...
I gotta show a piece of ID to get it. To get
Right.
a piece of ID.
Why if I come before the end of the term for my passport full, I gotta pay full price for another passport. Ain't even a renewal, I just need more pages, bro. I just need some more pages. It's like I get punished to use the passport.
Yep.
These are some of the little things that they just okay and could be dealt with.
And very easily we have we see the push for STEM and, you know, all these people who doing coding and infotech professionals, but we're not using them. We're pushing for them, but we're not using them.
They're in San Diego, man. And then stick around here.
For nothing, because
No, man,
we prefer to kill all the trees them.
No, we
Use all the
gotta
papers
find
them.
something. We gotta find something. We
I got to go to the
We got
clinic
things
and
that
wait
need
for
to
the
be done
nurse.
with.
The nurse to flip to a whole dusty book to find my record, and it could be in a computer.
I'm telling you.
Well, you know, simple things like that, you know. But we, like with the crime situation, we gotta want it. You know, we don't push it, we ain't get it. as a people.
Well, Jonel, I mean, it's been amazing talking to you. Good luck this weekend with the convention.
Make sure it's spicy, you know. Don't let me come there and be bored.
Well, they have a track record to uphold. I mean, the last convention was one of the spiciest we've had.
Buy facts.
So who knows?
Buy facts.
Who knows? Or maybe this is part of the rebranding. Maybe that a little less spice.
Listen.
No, but seriously, is gonna. I think it's gonna be really good, actually. You know.
I can pick him out on something. May want you to answer me direct. Are we going to see some? Are we going to see some shifting in positions?
Well, we do have our caucus tomorrow night at headquarters.
That's up to the party.
Where all positions, with the exception of the political leader, will be up for grabs, so to speak. So we'll be having elections and all except for the political leader. That term is a 3-year term, as opposed to the others, which are 1. So he has 1 more year left in that term.
So when he tell him up, you're going up for it, or you're just going, just asking?
So we have caucus tomorrow. Sean is my leader.
That's why I said last time they said that, you see what happened?
No.
Sean, I come out big. This is my leader. Next thing you know, we in election.
I am a PAM.
Okay.
I'm a PAM. Sean is my leader.
Okay.
And until he is my leader, he's my leader. And I'm going to support him. But I can say there will certainly be some changes.
Oh dear, you're going?
There'll be some changes. And we look forward to really change things, everything tends to stagnant.
You do.
You can't think coming out.
So we have plans and we want to ratify a certain mandate for the new executive to ensure that we start not just a rebuild but a rethink, a refocusing of the party and where we're going, who we are, what we want to do. We know we're PAM, we know our track record, we know what we've done for the people of this country, we know what we're capable of doing, but we want to ensure that we present the best platform for the people of this country and a platform that is reflective of them, not reflective of some ideal. And so we want to keep it real. I want to invite everybody to our convention, party headquarters, Sunday, 4th June, 2 o'clock. Come out. We will be live on Win FM. We'll be streaming online as well, but we want people to come and feel the energy, feel the vibes, feel the spirit. We're going to be around, the leadership will be around, both incoming, outgoing. Everybody's going to be there to interact, because it's not just about listening to the presentations, but the ability to interact and have discussions. We are at our home party headquarters. We want to invite everybody to come home. I know the last 9 months or the last year has been challenging, and I don't mean for us as a political party per se, but for everybody. I think the whole country, the whole country, because of the politics, was sort of uneasy, and everybody was hyped up and thing, and but we're beyond that now. We're moving forward. We want to invite everybody to come back up to headquarters, re-engage us. Even if you try something different, last time, come still. Let's have a discussion. Come. We ain't turning back nobody.
At my quarters on Sunday.
We ain't turning back nobody blacklisted. Everybody welcome to come up there. Don't care which party you voted for, whether you ain't vote, come up and have, listen to what we have to say, have a discussion. Tell us what you wanna hear and see from us going forward.
Well, I mean, that's the only way for you to figure out the best fit for the next government, for you to hear from all of them. So you're right, whether you back this different party or you don't support any party at all, you have to know the options. You have to know them.
Again, that's why I think the theme is fitting, reflect, re-energize, and revitalize. Re-engage, revitalize. And that's exactly what we're doing. I mean, we are going through a period of reflection. We're trying to re-engage persons Obviously, our vote got split because of PLP, but we here 57 years here, we ain't gonna wait.
Oh, yeah, what you
So,
want
him.
him? Man, when I see your old friend, how are you doing?
I
Equal foot.
have not seen him in quite some time.
Really?
Actually.
In this small country?
Not even since, I've not seen him since my last, I've been close to him since, I think, Vance Amri's funeral.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So no phone calls, no, you know, I'm sorry.
Okay, now,
yeah, none of them things. I just let the friendship go.
Shoot him on a WhatsApp, man. Shoot him on a WhatsApp.
Yeah, man, sure. See, check on your dear can. Remember, we're getting older. We got to, you just rethink and all of these
No,
nice
I agree
things.
with you, know. Look, I don't hold anything in my heart against
shouldn't,
anybody. You
friend.
know. I don't hold anything in my heart. He did what he had to do, I did what I had to do.
Exactly.
And we move forward.
Politics aside.
You know,
We move.
We move.
Exactly. Let me tell you, I still believe in them principles of team unity. Even though it didn't work out, I think it was a reflection of what we believe in and what people really wanted, which is why it was so successful and had so much potential to do so more. It wasn't so much for me about winning another election, but about what we could have and should have done for the people. We had the perfect opportunity.
Y'all have a guest speaker on Sunday?
Yes, we have a guest speaker coming out of Jamaica.
Oh, that was Jade.
No, I can.
We'll be announcing, we'll be putting out a release with his name, so I will.
Yeah, man, make sure you shoot it over to us, too.
I will allow that to happen before I go there.
No exclusive, Jade.
No, I just wonder if it's Andrew. You say yes or no?
Wait for the announcement, Jade.
All right.
Patience.
I'll be there.
I'll give you a hint. He is coming from our sister party, the JLP.
Oh, okay.
Over there.
Don't worry about that.
I remember when I spoke at the convention, boy, you think you see convention here? Is a whole state, is a whole
That's
thing.
a whole different thing. That's a whole different time.
Boy,
Yeah.
different energy. But was still sweeter though. You know, Esca people.
No, different. But we look forward to it and all the things that have coming up. The shifting of the administration, we'll look to see what y'all do. When you said that's happening?
Tomorrow night,
Okay.
we will be voting for the new executive.
Send me a picture there when I finish, you know?
No, we can put out a picture.
Press release coming out, man.
Okay.
Remember, we in the media now.
That's why I just making sure they remember.
The only thing is, in your former dispensation, I never get a cup of tea or nothing. You come up here, me get a cup of tea or nothing.
Oh, no, man. Why?
They're
always politicians, you know? Hey, never say if you see me understand. As a politician, you're supposed to be able to recognize the gap in what your people need, right? You realize that you ain't gonna tea twice. You ain't even say, let me see if I can get them some tea.
Yeah. Maybe we just need another cup.
Maybe we just...
But not only that, he want tea and he doesn't take 6 months to come in. I understand.
Because me to Ethiopia. No, but I'm happy to see y'all up here and what you're doing and that you've continued what you're doing. I do tune in from time to time, and respect. Keep it up. You know to get me.
Appreciate
it. To get me. I will always come and discuss whatever, whenever. I don't want to me talking about this.
Right.
No, that is true. That is true.
And it doesn't always have to be about politics. And looking at the guests that you've had and the discussions, it's really good, and I commend you both on keeping it going.
Appreciate that. But Jay, this is a friend of the show. You want us to just wrap up one time?
I mean, we might as well. You want him good?
If it's one person, no. How to wrap up. But yeah, guys, we want to thank you, Jonel, for coming and hanging out with us this morning right here on Sip and Chat. First time, definitely not the last time, I'm sure.
Definitely not.
Looking forward to that. Those of you tuned in on Facebook, YouTube, whatever other social media platform you check us out on, we appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, tell your friend, broadcast it. When you go into the people in establishment, ask them where they're going to Sip and Chat. Yeah. That's what we expect. But that's what I was saying, let's wrap it up. But yeah, guys, of course, we appreciate you being a big part of what it is that we do here. And we really look forward to your continued support.
Yes.
But of course, Of course, guys. Of course. We
We
gotta
gotta
leave.
go.
We gotta disembark. We gotta disappear. So thank you so much again. The Kingsters, big up yourself. All the sippers, first time listeners.
Yeah.
Welcome, last time listeners. It's been great.
There you go.
But yes, guys, of course, please remember, to spend more time living your content than posting it. I mean, we're gonna laugh, eh?
Yeah, we know you're gonna laugh, man.
We're gonna laugh, but still, we're trying to work with you still. You don't want to be the main character in this in this funny show known as Singers and Neighbors. It ain't a good look. It ain't a good look.
For them, cause for me.
I mean, we appreciate it, eh?
Yeah.
We appreciate it. But
One
still.
content, man.
COE, content over everything.
Yes, indeed.
But of course, guys, we gotta leave, we gotta go with this, we gotta disembark. And before I go, it would be remiss of me not to say, you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. We're gonna see you guys tomorrow.
Da da